Grammy Award winner Big Boy from Outkast. How you doing today?
I'm super fantastic.
I am so excited that you're here for the halftime performance for tonight's game. You know what a big deal it is. First of all, it's Sunday Night Football.
Yeah.
It's the Cowboys here against the Texans.
Right.
Do you feel the excitement in the air already?
Absolutely. I mean, from the tailgates outside all the way to the people in the tunnel, it's crazy. It's the battle for Texas.
All right, what's the best? Did you eat anything at the tailgate? What's the best thing that you saw out there?
No, actually, they catered us some nice food in our dressing room. We had some nice grilled salmon and some rice pilaf. And we had some roasted wings and all types of sides and desserts and stuff.
I think you need a hefty dose of brisket with that.
See, I would
to welcome you to Texas.
I would.
I'm just saying.
I don't eat beef or pork, not in 25 years, but I've smelled them ribs, and I want to eat some ribs.
All right, good stuff. What can you tell us about tonight's halftime performance? Can you give us a little bit of insight as to what it may look like? Is it one song? Is it a compilation? We're going to hear some old stuff, new stuff?
Yeah, it's going to be a medley of a little bit of everything. Something new, something blue, something borrowed, something true. It's going to be jamming, though, for sure.
All right, as a fan of Outkast,
Yeah.
any future plans to collab with Andre 3000 again?
You never know. You never know. We got to talk to the Lord.
All right, good stuff. And then, all right, tonight's game, obviously a big one for the Texans.
Yeah.
Big one for the Cowboys, too, but
Right.
predictions. What are your predictions? Make it good.
I took the Texans at least by 3.5.
Oh, I love it. All right, great to have you. Can't wait to see you. Hope your prediction comes true tonight.
All right, for
Big
sure.
boy,
Me too.
here, halftime performance tonight.
All righty.
Texans Unlimited, presented by Verizon, starts now. Welcome into Texans Unlimited, presented by Verizon. There is definitely a buzz in the air. It's Sunday Night Football. It's Week 5. It's the Texans. It's the Cowboys. So an exciting night tonight with Big Boy at halftime. An exciting night for these Houston fans because they're going to get to see a lot of familiar faces, and they're going to see one new face in Kiki QT. He's going to make his debut tonight. Now, heading into tonight's game, several players were listed as questionable. QT was one of them, as was Will Fuller and Lamar Miller. Right now, all three are listed as active for tonight's game. QT, Fuller, Miller, they're all out here warming up before the game starts. According to some early reports, Lamar Miller may not be able to go for the entirety of the game. He may not go at all. If so, that'll be Alfred Blue that steps in his place, something to watch for in tonight's game. Obviously, QT made a dynamic NFL debut last week, 11 catches for 109 yards. The most catches by an NFL rookie in his debut. Hopefully he can keep that going tonight. Will Fuller's had a touchdown in every game he's played with Deshaun Watson. And tonight, Watson hopes to keep that streak going as well. He was sacked 7 times last week. The O-line's going to try to keep him upright. Bill O'Brien said not all those sacks were the fault of the O-line. Probably only 2 of them, and the rest were on missed assignments. And Deshaun Watson's going to have to really step up tonight in a big game against the Cowboys. And then finally, a very exciting week as far as defensive players. Jadeveon Clowney named AFC Defensive Player of the Week. J.J. Watt named AFC Defensive Player of the Month. Both of them had 2 sacks each last week, some forced fumbles. The Texans defense did some nice things on takeaways, and they won the turnover differential last week. Can they do it again this week? It's going to be one of the keys to watch. And with that, Drew Doherty has more from inside the Texans tunnel.
Oh, hello. DB, the Texans have got to keep on getting turnovers and takeaways. Last week they did it. They were +1, and they won the ball game. The Cowboys have not been good at that this year. They're -2 on the season. That's one worse than the Cowboys, and they still have not picked off a pass. They've only got 2 forced fumbles. So, Texans, if they keep on doing what they've been doing the last couple weeks, probably going to come away with a victory in the turnover differential category as well as the win category. We'll kick it back inside to you.
Welcome into Texans Unlimited. Once again, now we've got John Harris, our very favorite, out here on the sidelines for the games. And Johnny, we just saw the 53, which was a history of the Texans and Cowboys rivalry, that first game in 2002. If you haven't seen it, check out HoustonTexans.com. Turned out fantastic. What a memory it was. And fans are obviously very excited tonight. It's only the 3rd time that we face the Cowboys in the regular season here.
Yeah, in here, which is really interesting to me. I was so honored that Jay and Tyler asked me to be the narrator for the 53 inaugural game. I mean, it was really cool to do, to kind of go back. I watched that game from North Carolina. That's where I was living at the time. So watching it from afar, seeing my city get football back, it was such a really cool moment. And then trying to explain it to my wife and my family at the time, like, here's what's going on. Like, they didn't quite get it because they didn't have professional football other than the Panthers. And they just really didn't get it, how much that game meant to me, to Houston fans, and obviously to the McNairs and everybody involved in the Texans organization. It was just really cool.
And hopefully tonight another historic night for the Texans. That was Sunday Night Football.
Yes, it was.
And the Texans won, so hope to see some similar results. Obviously, two very different teams. So let's get into some of your fan questions. Tyler wants to know, how can the Texans slow down Zeke Elliott? That's a fantastic question. He's going to be one to watch. He leads the league in rushing yards right now. And the Cowboys offense uses him in multiple ways, right, Johnny?
Yeah, absolutely. He's the only guy in the league averaging over 100 yards a game. That's played, I think, 4 games. What are we, 4 games. But the thing about Zeke, what you have to do is you have to absolutely eliminate running lanes. And what I mean by that is you have to basically play your defensive line like a wall. Because the second that he finds a gap, he's taking it. I was asked the difference between Ezekiel Elliott and Saquon Barkley, and I said Saquon might be a little bit more athletic at 4'3", whereas Zeke's a 4'4" guy. Elliott's probably a little bit bigger, but Barkley has a really thick trunk. But Barkley will leave yards on the field. Zeke won't. Zeke will find the smallest space and exploit it. And when he does that, he ends up he's a star. And I think that's going to be the biggest thing, is to eliminate those run lanes and make sure he can't pop through them, no matter how small it looks. This might look like no space between you and me. That's space that he can exploit, that he'll get skinny and get through. They've got to eliminate all of that, make him bounce, everything. That won't be the perfect tonic, but you can at least get a lot of guys to the ball. You're not going to stop Zeke with one guy, the D-line or the linebackers. You do with all 11 guys on defense.
Yeah, and actually the Cowboys are ranked first in league in rushing yards per play, just under 6 yards a carry. And the Texans defense actually top 4 as far as stopping the run. So a big challenge for them. What about in the receiving end as far as Ezekiel Elliott goes?
Well, I think that's where he becomes a pretty big problem. I think the biggest thing, even though last week he went out wide and caught that ball down the field for a big play for Dallas to set up the game-winning field goal, to me where Zeke is best is in the screen game. Just little slip screens. I've seen him over the last couple of years make plays with just little slip screens, just slipping them out, running some jet sweep action or something the other way, and then he slips out the other way and they just flip him a screen. That's where I think he's really dynamic, and I think that's going to be a big factor tonight, because if he gets going in the screen game, then I don't know where you're going to stop him at that point. So he is a 3-down back in the true sense of being a 3-down back. He can run, he can protect, he can catch the football. He is the biggest challenge the Texans have faced from the running back position this year.
All right, as far as our receivers go, Asmel wants to know, is Will Fuller active tonight? Obviously, he is active tonight. What do you expect from him, Johnny? Obviously, with the hamstring last week, he came out of the game. We didn't see him finish that Colts game. Yeah. But do you expect to see a heavy dose of him tonight, or is he really just in there just to spell some relief for the other receivers?
Well, I think we'll see early on, but my gut tells me that if he weren't 100%, he wouldn't be going tonight. That they have a few other options they could go to, and obviously they play without him in the second half. And he told Bill O'Brien, look, I think I can go. When they talked about it a little bit more, they realized, no, let's not push it. Let's get ready for next week or the week after. But I think for Will, if he's out here tonight, he's got to feel pretty good about what he can do, the full gamut of routes that he can run. So I would imagine we'll see pretty similar Will Fuller stuff, routes, everything tonight. I don't think you'll see any different.
All right, Bill wants to know, what's the running back situation look like for the Texans? Obviously, Lamar Miller is active tonight, but do you expect it to be Alfred Blue starting?
Yeah, I do. Throughout the week, when people ask me about Lamar, my gut doesn't say he's going to be ready to go. And then he showed up on the active list. He was not on the inactive list, but then when you watch him before the game, it's pretty clear that he's really not in. I don't know that he's right in the right form to be ready to go tonight. So I wouldn't expect Lamar tonight. So it's going to be Alfred Blue. It's going to be Tyler Irvin. We're also going to see Buddy Howell tonight, I would imagine, as well.
All right, Kayvon Webster. He's obviously active for the Texans. Aaron Colvin's inactive. He's got the ankle. We may not see him again for the rest of the season. Who knows? What do you expect to see out of Kayvon Webster? What does he bring to this secondary?
Well, a lot of experience. He also faced Dallas last year. In week 4 or 5, they played at Dallas last year, so an opportunity to at least see Dak Prescott and see the routes and see some of the things that Dallas does. So that's going to help Kayvon a little bit to have that knowledge. But, coming off an Achilles, you just never know. You really don't. I mean, he can be 100%, just run back in and be fine. He could struggle with it. So we'll see. I think he's going to get some reps early on. He'll get some plays early on. Sharice Wright has given him some good time, and we'll see what Kayvon's – he's got to do it tonight.
All right, good stuff. Let's get to some shout-outs. Marcia in Big Bend National Park. Shout out to Cheryl in Boston. Barbara from Tomball. All right, Johnny, give us your final thoughts on the game. Some big keys for today. It's obviously a big one.
Well, I think the biggest matchup tonight are the right tackles against left defensive ends on both sides. Lyle Collins against J.J. Watt and Kendall Lamb going against Tank Lawrence. I think those two battles, for as much as you talk about Ezekiel Elliott and all the other stars in this game, I think it comes down to that battle. If Kendall Lamb can control or slow down Jamarcus Lawrence, Texas offense should have some success. Same on the other side. If Lyle Collins is able to control J.J. Watt, the Cowboys offense will have success. I think the winner of that battle on both sides ends up being a big key for tonight.
All right, and not to put the cart before the horse, but all the other teams in the AFC South lost this week. So I don't want to get ahead of ourselves, but that sure would be nice. It sure would be nice if the Texans can be the lone team to pull out a win in the AFC South. All right, Johnny, thanks so much. We can listen to you on Sports Radio 610, Texans Radio, broadcasting the game live. Obviously, it's Sunday Night Football. You can check out all the highlights, stories, and more on HoustonTexans.com. For Tyler Suddarth, Tyler Marcotte, for Jay McDevitt, for Johnny Harris, I'm DP Susan. Thanks for watching, and go Texans.
Well, it's finally here. I've been waiting all week just to kick